Have you ever pondered how oil, the lifeblood of our modern world, is extracted from the earth? It's a question that may not cross our minds often, but the answer holds significant implications for us all. Oil, a black gold as some might say, is the driving force behind our modern society. It fuels our cars, powers our industries, and even plays a crucial role in producing everyday items, from plastic bottles to cosmetics. This omnipresent resource, hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface, has shaped our lives in ways we often overlook. But how do we get to this oil? After all, it's not just lying around waiting to be scooped up. The process, in reality, is a complex one, involving a combination of science, technology, and sheer human determination. Experts use seismic surveys to locate potential oil reserves, then drill deep into the earth, often several kilometers, to reach these reserves. Once there, they must carefully extract the oil, a process that can take months or even years to complete. And it doesn't stop there. Once extracted, the oil must be refined, a process that transforms it from a crude substance into the various usable forms we're familiar with: gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and a myriad of other products. This refining process, too, is an intricate one, involving a series of chemical reactions and physical separations. But it's not just about the science and technology of oil extraction, there's also the economics to consider. Oil extraction is a lucrative industry, generating billions in revenue each year. It's a major employer, providing jobs for millions of people worldwide, and it's a key player in the global economy, influencing everything from trade balances to currency values. So yes, oil is indeed the lifeblood of our modern world. It powers our lives, drives our economies, and shapes our societies. But beneath this surface of convenience and necessity, there lies a shocking reality. The extraction of oil has a profound and often devastating impact on our environment. Now let's dive a little deeper into the environmental consequences of oil extraction. Picture this: a world choked by air pollution, water sources tainted beyond use, and once thriving habitats reduced to barren wastelands. This isn't from some dystopian novel. It's a reality in areas where oil is being extracted. Firstly, air pollution is a significant concern related to oil extraction. The process releases harmful substances like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and volatile organic compounds, which can cause respiratory problems and other health issues in humans and animals. But it doesn't stop there. These pollutants also contribute to the creation of acid rain, which can damage forests, soil, and bodies of water. Secondly, water contamination is another critical issue. Oil extraction often leads to the spillage of harmful chemicals into our water sources. This can make the water unsafe for consumption and can also harm aquatic life. The shocking part? The effects aren't just local. Water contamination can spread, affecting regions far from the extraction site. Thirdly, let's talk about habitat destruction. When oil is extracted, vast areas of land are cleared, disrupting ecosystems and endangering wildlife. It's not just the creatures on the surface that are affected. The disturbance extends to subterranean ecosystems, where countless microorganisms play crucial roles in maintaining our planet's health. But perhaps the most shocking fact of all is how oil extraction contributes significantly to global climate change. The burning of fossil fuels, including oil, releases vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This greenhouse gas traps heat, leading to a rise in global temperatures, which in turn leads to more frequent and severe weather events, melting ice caps, and rising sea levels. The cost of our oil reliance is more than just financial. It's a debt we're placing on our environment. We're borrowing from future generations, and the interest is our planet's health. It's high time we reevaluate our energy choices and consider the true cost of oil extraction. The future of our planet depends on it. And it's not just the environment that pays the price for our oil addiction. Our thirst for oil has a profound human cost, one that often goes unnoticed. Imagine this. It's a typical day at an oil extraction site. Workers are toiling under harsh conditions, exposed to extreme heat or bone-chilling cold. The work is strenuous, demanding, and fraught with danger. Every day, these workers risk their lives, dealing with highly flammable materials and operating massive, powerful machinery. Accidents are not uncommon, and when they occur, they can be catastrophic. These workers put their lives on the line, all in the pursuit of the black gold we so heavily rely on. But the human cost of oil extraction doesn't stop at the extraction sites. They extend to the communities that lie in the shadows of these towering oil rigs. People living near these sites face a multitude of health risks. They breathe in toxic fumes and particles that can lead to respiratory problems, heart disease, and even cancer. Children, the most vulnerable of all, may suffer from developmental issues due to exposure to these harmful pollutants. And then there's the social disruption. When oil is discovered in a community, it can lead to an influx of transient workers, rising housing prices, and increased crime rates. The social fabric of these communities is often stretched thin as they struggle to adapt to these sudden changes. It's not uncommon for these communities to become ghost towns once the oil wells run dry. The human cost of oil extraction is a heavy one. It's a cost borne by the brave men and women who work in the oil fields, by the families who live in the shadow of oil rigs, and by the communities that are forever altered by the presence of the oil industry. The price of oil is not just paid at the pump, it's paid with people's lives and livelihoods. The human cost of our oil addiction is a high one, and it's a cost we need to acknowledge as we consider our reliance on this finite resource. The economic impact of oil extraction is a complex web of benefits and drawbacks. When we talk about the economic implications of oil extraction, we often start with the positives. And yes, there are definite upsides. The oil industry plays a crucial role in fueling economic growth. It drives job creation with millions of people worldwide directly or indirectly employed in the sector. It's a significant contributor to the GDP of oil-rich nations, helping to fund public services and infrastructure. But let's not forget the other side of the coin. The oil industry can also be a source of economic instability. The price of oil is notoriously volatile, fluctuating based on a multitude of factors, from geopolitical tensions to changes in supply and demand. This volatility can lead to economic uncertainty, especially for those countries whose economies heavily rely on oil revenues. Moreover, while oil extraction brings in revenue, it also incurs enormous costs. One of the most significant is the cost of cleaning up oil spills. It's a hefty price tag that often falls on the public's shoulders. From the Exxon Valdez spill in 1989 to the Deepwater Horizon disaster in 2010, the cleanup costs have run into billions of dollars. And these figures don't even begin to account for the long-term environmental damages, the cost of which can be incalculable. Beyond the cleanup costs, there are also the expenses linked to health issues caused by pollution from oil extraction. These can manifest as increased healthcare costs, lost productivity, and reduced quality of life. In a nutshell, the economic picture of oil extraction is not as rosy as it might first appear. It's a mixed bag of significant benefits and substantial drawbacks, of windfall profits and staggering costs. As we continue to rely on oil, we must ask ourselves, is the economic gain worth the price we're paying? The economic benefits of oil extraction are undeniable, but so are the risks and costs. So, where does this leave us in terms of the future of oil extraction? As we turn our gaze towards the horizon, we find ourselves standing at a crossroads. The road we've been traveling, powered by fossil fuels and marked by oil extraction, has served us for generations. However, the environmental, human, and economic costs we've explored in previous scenes have shown us that this road may not be sustainable for much longer. So, what does the future hold? Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. On one hand, technology is advancing rapidly, promising more efficient and less damaging methods of oil extraction. Innovations like carbon capture and storage, for example, could potentially reduce the environmental impact of oil extraction. But on the other hand, we cannot ignore the fact that oil is a finite resource. The day will come, sooner or later, when the wells run dry. What then? This stark reality is pushing us to explore alternative energy sources. Solar and wind power, for instance, have made significant strides in recent years. They're renewable, which means they won't run out, and they don't carry the same environmental or human costs as oil extraction. Hydroelectric and geothermal energy are also promising contenders, harnessing the power of our planet's natural processes to generate electricity. But it's not just about finding new energy sources, it's about changing the way we think about energy. We need to move towards a more sustainable model, one that considers the long-term effects of our actions and prioritizes the health of our planet and its inhabitants. This shift won't be easy, and it won't be quick. It will require cooperation on a global scale, and a commitment to change that transcends borders and politics. But the stakes couldn't be higher. The future of oil extraction is uncertain, but what is clear is that we need to find a more sustainable, less damaging way to power our world.